Well, heading over to that big cat rescue.
Think I should?
Must be out of my freaking mind.
That lady's gonna be waiting down there with a tiger cat, and she's gonna feed me to him.
What the hell am I doing here? There's a pickup truck. God damn it. I'm not getting out of here. Fuck. Hello, this is Gator McKlusky, and we're here with Russell Hantz, who's kind enough to join us for a review of something quite different.
Yes. Woo! Crazy.
Well, this was your idea, pal, and I wasn't even thinking about watching this thing, but when I got your message and you said that this would be a good one for us, one episode in, I was hooked and ready to go.
Hey, I'm Joe Exotic, otherwise known as the Tiger King, the gay gun-carrying redneck with a mullet.
So let's talk about the Tiger King. What made you even want to watch this thing?
Man, I started hearing all the hype, and I was like, well, let me check this out. I ain't got nothing else to do. I can't go to me and my daughter, and I know you do movie reviews. Me and my daughter, we do little movie reviews because I like to get out of the world of Survivor and do other things.
Yeah.
It's just fun for me, and it's fun for my kids. So we do movie reviews now. We can't do that. And then I'm like, I've seen this thing, and everybody's talking about it.
Animal people are nuts, man. They're all crazy.
I have to be honest, though. I didn't enjoy it like the masses are enjoying it.
I don't think we're done blowing shit up today.
I don't figure you.
You know, to me, it was just like Redneck Island on steroids. I mean, did he really mess these guys up, these straight men, and show them a few tigers, and all of a sudden they were like, okay, let's get married?
I have never taken meth, but
Right.
I know it makes your teeth fall out, and they sure did prove that.
We say no to drugs, that's right, because drugs make your teeth fall out.
The other guy that unfortunately killed himself, he looked like a regular old boy, you know? All of a sudden he gets hooked up with Exotic Joe, and then, I don't know, is that all it takes?
This guy's real name is Joe Maldonado Passage, and he changed his name to Joe Exotic for the obvious reasons. He's got the exotic animals, but he's also flamboyant.
Until my last dying breath, we're gonna take care of animals and blow shit off.
The big thing about this series is his obsession with messing with this Carole Baskin.
If he ever had an enemy in his life, it was Carole Baskin.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carole at Big Cat Rescue.
That's where this series just takes a complete and total turn for the demented.
You may get down so you've got just cat.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
I love how they didn't take sides because everybody on this show looks bad.
About an hour ago, we had an incident where one of the employees stuck their arm through the cage and a tiger tore her arm off. I can give you your money back, or I can give you a rain check.
The only one that doesn't look bad is the poor little girl that got her arm bitten off. She even quoted the only person in this tragic story that didn't get helped is the cat.
I've been doing this 20 years, never even been bit. It's okay.
I don't know much about the cat rescue thing, but Carole Baskin has a cat rescue, right? I mean, I guess that's called a zoo.
Go!
You are something else.
My number one goal in life is going to be to make this woman happy.
She also charges people to come into her rescue, as she calls it. If Carole Baskin is listening to this, if you really want to rescue a tiger, take that tiger, spend all them millions that you made off them tigers, and you bring them back to Africa. That's how you rescue them.
Exactly.
You let them go in the wild.
Apparently, when you raise them here, they don't have that instinct that if they just throw them out in the wild, they probably wouldn't survive very long. I guess that's the reason. And her thing is that she wants to have them there until they die. And her problem with Joe Exotic is he keeps breeding more of them, like, you know, and because he wants them as cubs so people can pet them and he can make his money. I don't know what he does with them, honestly. I guess maybe he does shoot them in the head at some point.
God damn you!
That's the other thing about this show. Doing a review of this show and you and I talking about it is not much different than talking about the mafia. Well, I don't want to say the wrong thing here. And next thing you know, Carole's trying to feed me to one of her tigers because I'm actually afraid of these people.
I think that they're pretty easy to strategically get around.
That's That's how we take care of ISIS right there, buddy.
I don't think that they can work up a plan too well.
One day I went out to open up the mailbox and it just exploded with snakes.
They're criminals,
Now, this is the kind of movies we're going to make here, okay?
but they're not organized criminals.
He ain't going nowhere.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I thought that Carole Baskin is just as bad as the rest of them.
Even if you set aside the fact that she probably fed her husband to tigers or put him in a septic tank.
They showed a clip of her saying he has them in cages, and then the next clip they show is a poor little tiger eating in a little bitty cage. I don't know how much land she really has. It would take a billionaire to do it right. Almost like a Jurassic Park type rescue. They have that much land to where they can keep them safe until they die or eat each other. All the zoo animals that can't fight, I guess they have an equal survival rate if they all go out there together.
Nope. Whatever.
Put them all on a 100,000 acre piece of land. Let them fight or live or survive. They keep saying, oh, they don't have the instinct. I don't believe that for a second, man. If it comes time to survive, them animals are going to survive.
Ow, son of a bitch.
They could be tougher. We don't know.
By the way, Tony, I'm sorry your wife was shot by Donald Trump's children.
And they're eating Walmart beef.
Yes, Walmart meat. That makes us all big and strong. We live in a society of obesity because of Walmart meat. And now you have these tigers eating Walmart meat with steroids in them. These are some tough tigers. And I don't agree with, oh, they're going to all get killed. That's just Carole Baskin saying that. And then she charges for people to go see her sanctuary that she makes millions off of.
You can see how they go from being so sweet to just wanting to tear your face off, and they can do it like that. And it's like, oh, that's amazing to have that kind of range and that speed.
So you telling me when all them animals die, she's done?
Well, apparently she has enough money to do that.
Those who do things in a certain way, whether on purpose or accidentally, get rich.
You know, when she rides that bicycle around that compound, she kind of looks like, I don't know if you remember the Great Muppet Caper with Miss Piggy riding the bicycle around with Kermit in the basket. She kind of looks like crazy riding that bicycle around that compound.
You should put that right there.
I'm sure I did.
This is my way of living, and nobody's going to tell me any otherwise.
All right, let's talk about gunplay. You and I are both Second Amendment guys, and we like our guns. I don't think Joe Exotic should have guns.
You got to give it up for Joe, because I promise you, if a tiger grabs me by the foot and drags me and I have a 45 on my hip, that tiger's getting it in between the eyes.
Get down! Go! Get!
He showed a little mercy there.
And we don't know why the tigers are dead in the back. Maybe they just euthanize them. They do that to animals all the time. Where is all the uproar when they're killing dogs and cats and whatever left and right? Now all of a sudden Joe kills 5 of his kittens. They were probably 180 years old with arthritis. Who's to say he didn't do it? You know, that's the right thing to do, right? That's what everybody says. You can even have your own family dog that you loved all your life, but the thing is dragging 2 feet around. Finally, you're like, oh, it's time. What do? You euthanize them. What that really means is you kill them. You could call it any other word you want to call it, but you bring them somewhere to have them kill your animal so it wouldn't suffer. Joe, maybe that's the case.
I don't know. I can't get past the word cat. Like, I'm a dog guy. I never really liked cats. When I keep hearing the term cat, I think of cat as kitten, cat, whatever. Why don't they just call them tigers? Why do they call them cats? Is that just to minimize them and try to make them out that they can be pets by calling them a cat?
Maybe, but I just told my son if this was zombie apocalypse, I would just build, I have about 3 acres of land. I would build a big old fence and just let a few of them kittens out there, the zombies.
They're adorable.
Hey, all you kittens, they're not kittens. They're animals that will fight to survive. That's why they kill their owners sometimes. My son likes cats for some reason. I'm a dog guy. Or cats stay outside. I went out there not too long ago to bring them food. And that sucker attacked me. The kitten we had all our life. And I'm like, what's going on? like, and then just backs up in the air, looking at me. You know, he wanted what was in my hand was the food. Now, if that was a Carole Baskin cat, then it only takes one swipe and you're out. They're cute, but they're too dangerous. Obviously, if you bring them to Vegas, you can have a good time. I'm a single man. I might think about renting a few babies every once in a while. Take to Vegas with me.
Yeah, I'm amazed how easily that worked to get women.
Is that how it works?
All right, let's talk about his country music career.
I have my first 2 albums that I did. This is my first album, I Saw Tiger, and this is my second album, Starstruck.
I saw Tiger, now I understand.
You actually brought up something to me earlier today about those country music albums.
Did you read it?
I did.
So
that's not him.
So it's really not him singing.
That's what I read, I guess, right? If it's on the internet, it has to be true.
Yeah.
But that one I kind of believe, because you see him lip syncing to it. It doesn't even sound like him, you know? I mean, what has he got? Some kind of magical voice that comes out of that.
And it looks so funny. Willie was watching it, and Willie from Big Brother, he was my brother. And when he started singing, I just kind of...
Everything was fine, just as sweet as wine, but her husband went and disappeared.
I kind of slowly look at Willie like...
Yeah.
Because he sounds like he has a good voice.
Today, Joseph Schreibvogel Maldonado Passage, also known as Joe Exotic, was arrested for seeking to hire someone to murder me.
If he got out of prison, I think he got a 20-year sentence. He may only have to spend 10 years. But if he got out on good time served or whatever, he would be living the dream, because this is what he's been wanting all his life.
Before you bring me down, that you will stop breathing.
I read that he's been writing Trump letters to try to get his sentence commuted, because he's hearing about all these people being let out of jail early.
I guess it is pretty serious. He tried to kill Carole Baskin.
He wanted her gone.
You're an animal rights person, and you try and come into this facility, this is what you're going to be greeted with.
Do you think he should have got 22 years?
I think if he'd have stayed out, he probably would have finished the job.
So we went to this little airport outside of Tampa and rented a helicopter and flew over Big Cat Rescue.
He was talking about dropping grenades, pulling the pins and just dropping them out of the helicopter.
He hated her with a passion. And what about Carole Baskin? Do you think that she's a murderer?
I mean, Jeffrey Epstein comes to mind. You know, if you're sitting around thinking that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, well, then you probably also think that this woman's husband just vanished and, you know, went off somewhere.
He just left. And with all this going on, all this amazing stuff, he's like, I'm not going to get involved with the millions I can make. I'm just going to stay right here in Puerto Rico. He's 100% dead. And she fed that poor man probably exactly like the video shows. She fed that man to the animals.
I'll tell you a quick story. I live in Tampa, Florida, was looking for something to do on Sunday just a couple of days ago from when we're shooting this. Her big cat rescue is literally 5 minutes from my house.
You serious? Right? You got to go there, man.
So I took a drive with my wife, and this is right after I watched the show, so it was fresh in my head. I didn't feel comfortable there, but I drove up, I saw the sign, and I drove down this long road, and I got to this big fence, and then I saw a pickup truck, and all of a sudden I just started shaking, and I turned to my wife and I said, I got to get out of here. I'm not comfortable. I'm going to end up getting fed to one of these tigers. Man, it gave me the creeps just being in that place. I had to check it out.
I'd go there with you. I'd be like, let's head over there, man. Let's go talk to her.
Yeah, if there's a lot of people there, I'll go.
I want to film it. Say, did you kill your husband?
Yeah, she's probably going to be in hiding for a while. This series is huge, man. I cannot believe how big this series has gotten.
Do you think that it makes her more famous? I mean, I know it makes her more famous, but do you think it makes her infamous?
Well, TMZ ran a story today about the fact that they want to reopen the investigation.
If she ends up in prison for murder, she's the dumbest woman ever.
I think they're all suing Netflix, Russell. I think they're all upset that this thing came out because they all look like shit. Nobody comes out of this a winner. So Doc Antle, now he's got anywhere from 4 to 5 different wives. And they say that he's got some kind of a cult there. He says the girls apparently.
Yeah, man, that's shocking because they're good-looking girls.
Yeah, different ages. He gets them really young, and then they stay there, and I guess they know nothing else, and they're afraid to leave. I saw today that he makes them call him Lord.
All the ones that they showed us, all have good-looking women with them because of tigers. Even Joe. So I've been thinking about investing in a few tigers.
And Netflix will probably do a series about you at some point.
I could be king of the lions. Who wants tigers when you can get lions? And I just don't think that there's such thing as a tiger rescue. And she gave a square footage. I don't think they have a square footage where anything's not a cage for them. Even these zoos that we go to all the time, they're all caged up. If you're going to be for that rescue thing, then you have to be against all zoos and everything else.
Circuses too. I remember seeing a circus in my town. They had a goat, and the goat went up on top of a slide, like a kiddie slide, and they let him go, and he went down the slide, and then his hoofs hit the ground, and they gave out, and his face smashed into the dirt. I don't think he really cared to do that very much.
No, I don't think so either. And they're starting to end everything, though, man. They're starting to end like Shamu.
And how long has this been going on?
That's gone. I can see a world where we don't have zoos one day. It's a little sad. You want to see the animals, but isn't that a little selfish for us?
Now, how far do you take it? Do you get rid of the aquariums too?
Hi, fish. Hi, Aquaman.
Once they get rid of the lions and tigers, you go to the zoo to see those. Once you get rid of those, that's it. I mean, you don't go to the zoo to see all the birds. They have cages and cages and cages of birds everywhere in the zoo. And snakes all over the place. All kind of snakes everywhere. You don't go to the zoo to see that.
That's
right. You go to the zoo to see lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my.
They are talking about, because of the success of this show on Netflix, they're now, of course, talking about doing a movie. And they're starting to talk about casting, because now everybody who is coming out of the woodwork that wants to play this Joe Exotic. Some of the guys they're talking about, Michael Keaton, Ed Norton, Jared Leto, Dax Shepard. I mean, I thought of David Spade from Joe Dirt.
It has to be more of a serious movie, but you're sitting there like, this guy's an idiot.
Like Monster. Did you ever see Monster with Charlize Theron when she played the serial?
Yes.
It needs to be like dirty and dark like that. The one person that they're talking about, which may be brilliant casting, or it may go the route of Saturday Night Live, is Kate McKinnon. She's wonderful on Saturday Night Live, but they're talking about her to play Carole.
It just cannot go into like a Dumb and Dumber type movie. I hope it doesn't, because they'll ruin it. I mean, the guy runs for president.
I'm Joe Exotic. I am now stepping my foot in the ring to run for president.
And I don't know how he didn't have a better shot.
I am gay. I've had some kinky sex.
Because he was running against Hillary and Trump.
I'm broke as shit.
Anybody gets 17% of the vote with that cast.
I have a judgment against me from some bitch down there in Florida.
He gives out free condoms. I mean, who wouldn't vote for somebody like that?
Fits all sizes, okay?
Free condoms with your picture on a condom.
Exclusively on shoptigerkey.com.
So when I start bringing my tigers to Vegas, I could just bring a bag of the condoms with my face on it. Or the Russell Hantz show.
I'm going to start shooting a documentary now, so we're ready to sell it to Netflix.
You probably could do a documentary somewhat like that of my family.
Let's wrap this up with a final grade. I'm going to say, for me, this show was something that I absolutely loved, and I could not take my eyes off it. So I'm going to give it, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 9, believe it or not. I can't wait to watch it again.
I didn't enjoy it as much, but I could see how people would enjoy it. But I have to be honest with myself and judge it on my standards. I thought it was very predictable. But I know everybody out there was waiting for Carole Baskin to go down. That didn't happen, so I have to give it a 6.
No. All right. 6 is good, though.
Now, most people out there are probably going to enjoy it. 90% are going to enjoy it, but I'm going to have to give it a 6 on my standards.
Now, if you find out 6 months from now that they lock her up and throw away the key for murder, is that you're going to bring the 6 up?
It gets much better. If at the end of the day, they do another series, and by the time they did that series, they investigated and they find that she did it, I'd probably go up another 2 spots, 8 or something. I didn't like the ending, man. It leaves you pissed off.
Yeah.
You got Joe is the only one that goes to jail, and Joe's really the only likable character in a weird way.
Be a bit of a douche at times, but he definitely is the more entertaining of the bunch. Well, that being said, I got to tell you, I was a fan of yours from the first time you entered the game of Survivor. I remember racing home every night with a smile on my face and thinking about it all day, and that the show was on that night. And I want to thank you for many years of entertainment. And as far as I'm concerned, you helped put reality TV on the map. For me, you were a special part of that show, and you'll always be the king of Survivor in my heart. And I want to thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. That's the good thing about being on the shows is when families tell me, man, we couldn't get home to watch you as a family. Everybody got involved. They sat there and they watched the TV instead of playing on their phones or anything like that. It brought people together. It's pretty cool to be a part of something like that. And, you know, I take it serious. All right, man. Well, thanks for having me.
All right. So, Russell Hantz, thank you again. Be sure to subscribe to Russell's page. I'll leave the link in the description. Thank you again. This is Gator McKlusky out.
Watch for live shows and new reviews every weekend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you know when new reviews arrive.